welcome to our SFM series for today. My name is Gina and I'm your host for today's live talk show where we teach practical fitness and nutrition tips to help improve your lifestyle. And of course, I'm not alone. We have our guest, Nana. Please introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, I'm Nana and I'm a nutritionist specializing in weight loss as well as gut health. So today, me and Gina, we're going to talk more into about food and nutrition and also help you to sleep better at night.
Yes, awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Nana. Okay, so for the viewers out there, if it's your first time here, okay, just a gentle reminder to register yourself in the QR code or the link in our description. You just need to do it one time, okay? And of course, every session, we have a lucky draw at the end of our session, okay? So what is our lucky draw today? Today, we actually have sponsored for red wine and blue light lens by Celery Wine and KJ Optometries. Okay, so remember to stay through the end, listen to what we share as we're going to ask you the lucky draw question of the day. All right, so listen well. Okay, so today, as you can see, that we're going to talk about this topic about sleep and nutrition and what should we eat to improve our sleep. Because we realized when we actually did a survey for up to about 100 people, other than, of course, the very popular topic on weight loss, weight toning, toning muscles and stuff like that, and the next popular topic that people are interested to learn more is actually about their sleep. Okay, so that's why we thought of bringing in our trainer, our nutritionist to come in and help you to work on all these things. Of course, when it comes to sleep, there's a lot of things to talk about. But today, we're just going to talk about nutrition as much as possible. Okay, so Nana, since you're here with us today, what do you think about food generally? How does it actually affect our sleep quality?
Yeah, I think it's a very good question because like a lot of people actually are not aware that food it actually does affect your energy level. So as cliche as it might sound, like definitely the way to get more energetic or like to be more focused the next day is actually to really get a very balanced meal of like your fiber, your lean protein, and as well as your complex carbs. So personally, even for me, right, I can feel the difference when I get food that is a lot more healthier versus food that is more processed or like deep fried. So like for example, like even for me, when I take like fried chicken, KFC chicken at night,
Yes.
like or when I tend to overeat too much of this, right, the next day I will tend to feel very lethargic. Like my energy level will be really low and I cannot really focus like in the beginning of the days. And also one more thing is that the even for me who like don't really have so much gut issue, right, I can feel like the bloatedness, too much gases.
Why is that so? Why do we react certain way like that? Like if we eat like a super fried chicken, simple meal and stuff like that.
Yeah. So actually, a lot of people is actually not aware that when you have some gut issue, right, such as like bloatedness or when you even have diarrhea or even constipation, all this is actually because your microflora balance it's actually not balanced up. You might have too much bad bacteria in the body, and the main source of energy for this bad bacteria to proliferate or to grow is actually from high fatty food content and food that is very high in saturated fat and trans fat. So that's why like when you take too much like fried items, which are essentially very high in all this bad fat content, it can actually cause your this microfloral biome to be very like unbalanced.
So I really can foresee, people that I know like, but I love food like
I know, right? Even when I got client like they have the gut issue and I did tell them that actually you shouldn't be eating this one. Yeah. The next day they still be eating pizza.
Like, because they will think food is life, right? Okay, but I think at the end of the day it's about moderation, right? It's not that we can't eat fried chicken or we can't eat our mala, xiangguo, that kind of thing. It's really about moderation. But I think for it to bring it to a state where if it starts affecting your lifestyle and sleep, I think that one we really need to do something about it already.
Yeah, actually moderation sounds like a very easy word. It's actually not very easy to do it.
I'm sure. I mean, you as a nutritionist and me as a trainer, we both know. And it's funny how, when we start eating something like unhealthy in many people's eyes, okay, and people will start judging us, right? All the time.
Actually, I'm not a very healthy eating nutritionist. But I will know I know the limit lah.
Yes.
Honestly.
Correct. Yeah. Usually I'll just tell them, I can eat, you look at me. Train the same amount of time.
Train like me, right? Train like me, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, so let's get the main question for today. Okay, so for the viewers out there, please listen closely. Okay, so our first main question that we want to ask is, of course, then what are the food we should avoid eating that may disrupt our sleep or disrupt our sleep quality in general?
Okay. So to answer that, I have prepared one slide for
Sure.
us to visualize better. So maybe let me
Okay.
share my slides first.
Sure.
Okay, can you see my slides now?
Yes, can see a slide.
Awesome. So actually, these are the food that I have listed out that it's best to avoid before bedtime for sure. So
Okay.
cheeseburger, spicy food, dry food. So actually, all these are the food here.
Yes, yes.
Anything that, and is there anything that really catch your attention?
I think definitely two things that catch my attention is dry fruits and celery. Like why I didn't expect especially celery to be there. Like isn't it healthy? You know, people will snack on it and stuff like that as their healthy snack and all. Then how does it actually affect our sleep then?
Yeah, actually for the food that you mentioned, right, they're all like healthy food, and of course, like if you to eat it in the right timing, they really can bring you a lot of health benefits for
Yeah.
sure. So like specifically for celery, they are very high in potassium as well as fiber content. But why we don't want you to eat this before bedtime is because that it's highly diuretic. So when it's highly diuretic, right, it tends to bring away a lot of water content from your body. So that might actually cause you to wake up in the middle of the night just to go pee.
Right. Okay. Okay. So it disrupts your sleep, like the time also lah. Like in between, you just like wake up and stuff like that.
Yeah. So you know,
Yeah.
like for people who already have difficulty in sleeping, when they finally sleep, then they have to wake up to pee. It's very hard for them to go back to sleep again.
Understand. So I assume like, okay, what I see here, like for example, high sugar cereal, chocolate and dried fruits. Can I say it's because of the sugar that they hold, or that will affect the energy before bedtime, or they are separate? They are different things.
A bit separate, but I will
Okay.
explain one by one. So
Sure.
actually for high sugar cereal, right, because they are all simple sugar, which means that they can all be easily broken down into the smallest and simplest form of sugar. So that one, once it's being like absorbed by our gut, by our bloodstream, it will be saved by, it will actually enter our cells. So now our cells will become very excited because they think that, oh, I got food to function now, which kind of stimulate you when you're not supposed to be stimulated.
Right.
Because usually at night you are supposed to be put to sleep. So we are not supposed to make ourselves very excited to work, right? So that's why like it's best that we try to avoid too much high sugary food, especially simple sugar food compound, like high sugar cereal, for example.
Okay. Then for dry fruits, is chocolate under also high sugar if I take dark chocolate less?
Yeah, dark chocolate, it's low in sugar, right? It's also very good like source of antioxidant. But then actually chocolate, especially that one, has a level of caffeine. It's actually caffeinated.
Oh,
So
really?
that's why actually for people who are really sensitive to caffeine, by eating a little bit of chocolate can actually cause them to have insomnia over the night.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. It's not they purposely put caffeine in, right? It's naturally
They
the
just
dark
have
chocolate is.
They actually have one. Yeah. Then just now you talk about dry fruits, right? I didn't mention.
Yes.
So dry fruits, right, is actually because it's actually high sugar. So okay lah, usually I don't recommend people to take too much dry fruits also. But because at the same time it's a high concentration of sugar, the fiber content is also pretty high, which is actually quite not so good for people who already have existing gut issue. So their body their digestive system is already not good. So therefore when they take too much high fiber food, right, it actually causes them to secrete and synthesize a lot more extra gases. So it leads them to have a lot of like bloatedness over the night. So that could actually keep them
like
awake.
People always say like, I feel like I haven't finished my food, that kind of thing at night.
Yeah.
Okay. That is
I
one
don't
of
know
the
whether
reasons.
you feel before when you are really bloated and you lie down flat, right? You really cannot sleep one.
Yeah. Yes. I felt that before. Okay. Well, but when you say cheeseburger here, it's also quite interesting because like I would think, you know, fast food like McDonald's are so easily accessible at night for supper. People eat it, you know, because that's the only few food you can find or order easily.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can imagine like those people.
It's a common supper for
Correct. Yeah. Okay. So that's very, very interesting. So I think I learned something new today about the chocolate and because I seldom eat chocolate, maybe that's why I don't know.
Mm.
But the celery and dry fruit is very, very interesting. Like because if you tell me like, oh, got the burger, high sugar cereal, chips, okay, like I get generally I think we don't want to eat unhealthy food because it affects our energy level, like you say. Yeah.
Yeah.
But for spicy food,
Spicy food, it's tend to trigger people with already with condition of acidic reflux, or maybe when you have irritable bowel syndrome, that could actually be a
okay,
trigger also. So therefore,
understand.
like not really good for the gut as well. So
Right.
so like fatty food is actually because like it's harder to digest. So therefore, when you eat all this like high concentration of fatty food, right, your body will be overly concentrated in digesting the food. So therefore, all the blood will be diverted into our stomach, into our intestine, just to digest.
So
So
yeah,
therefore, it doesn't have energy elsewhere to regulate the hormones, like
right.
everything, to put your body to sleep. That's the reason why.
Okay, understand. Okay, okay, very interesting. Okay, so then it leads us to the big question for today. Then what should we eat then for better sleep?
Yeah, I'm going to show you next one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to start this topic, right, I actually need to mention about three important chemicals and compounds
Okay.
that can actually help us to sleep better. So the
Okay.
first one, I think some of us might have heard the terms before. One is tryptophan. The second one is serotonin, and then the third one is melatonin. So for
I think for
tryptophan,
layman will be like red, huh?
so I'll talk slower. So tryptophan,
Okay.
yeah, tryptophan is an essential amino acid that help us to synthesize protein. So very important for our
Okay.
body. Secondly, it help our body to synthesize brain neurotransmitter, which is our serotonin. So serotonin, right, you can see it as a happy hormone, not
Okay.
hormone, happy neurotransmitter. So
Okay.
it makes us, so which means that it actually help us to regulate our mood, make us feel happy, and also at the same time it help us to regulate our sleep pattern as well. So better sleep for sure. And also the second thing that our tryptophan help us to synthesize is melatonin. So melatonin itself is a hormone that also help us to regulate our sleep wake cycle. So basically these three all very important when it
Mm.
comes to sleep.
Okay, so I think there's a reason why you want to share this tree with the viewers as well, right? Because I think you're going to relate to the food that you're going to share today that actually can help people to sleep
Mm.
better.
Correct. So like usually I would suggest that for people who really have trouble sleeping, it has been troubling you over like years, I would say that like food therapy as such, right? Definitely it will help you, but it's not like, it's not like sleeping pill. It does not help you overnight. It's more like if you were to take all this food regularly, then it definitely can help you to improve your overall quality of sleep. So even for food
Mm.
as like almonds and nuts, they're actually very high in melatonin. So it can help you to secret,
Okay.
like it can get you more melatonin in the body. But of course, the way to get it is actually to consume them regularly, also in moderate
Mm.
amount.
So
So
it cannot be a xian dan not a god pill. not like
very hard
not like you
leh.
eat. I eat. Okay, I do not want to sleep better. I eat almonds now.
I think if it was that way, then I don't know whether is it a food or like a pill already.
True that. True that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay. So basically, we want all this food that you recommend have the three hormones, is it that you're saying?
cottage
Yeah.
cheese is very high in tryptophan. So like
Mm.
what else? Turkey meat. I think some people might heard before.
Okay.
Turkey meat also very high in tryptophan. So you
Right.
can actually take all this, which is also a very good source for protein, right? At the same
True.
time,
Yeah.
which is good
So
lah for
kill
the
two birds
body.
in one stone. You get protein
Yeah,
and you get good sleep.
correct. So if you want good mood, like which is the serotonin, try to eat more fruits, like kiwis, pineapple, banana. They are all very good sources. So that's also the
Okay.
reason why when you read some website, right, they will ask you to like take some banana. It's actually because of that, like because
Okay,
of
so
the
now
serotonin.
because we are talking about this fruits now, right? Yeah, I think that's one thing definitely when I first saw kiwi, I was a bit, huh? Like, isn't it like a fruit? And you're just saying about banana and all. So like, but fruits got sugar, ma, right? So wouldn't it actually make us more energetic and our brain more aware? It's just like eating
Function is it?
your conflicts in the previous slide that you're showing that you should not eat before you sleep. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's actually the difference between processed food and versus natural food. So actually from kiwi or fruits, right,
Mm.
the sugar is more natural, and also on top of that, all the fruits contains fiber content. So which means that it
Okay.
slows down the rate of the sugar that is being absorbed by the bloodstream. So therefore, it's not quickly absorbed by the body as compared to like high sugar cereal.
Mm.
Yeah. So
Okay.
that's why like all these is kiwis or fruits, right? It's actually okay to consume before you sleep.
Okay.
But there's only one time that I don't suggest you to take fruits, which is also a very common question that people ask me, like,
Okay.
what is the best timing to take
Correct.
fruits? Not
I
sure
think
whether you
usually
heard
people
before.
eat fruits after a meal.
Yeah, like it's a very common thing, right? Like you
Yeah.
want to take some dessert or like some
Yeah.
sweet food after a savory food, right? But that is actually the only time that I don't recommend you to eat the fruits.
Oh, so we shouldn't eat fruits immediately after a meal.
Shouldn't. You should have a gap time, like maybe half an hour to 1 hour, like at least.
Okay,
Reason,
okay.
yeah. So
Is there
actually,
a reason why? Yeah.
reason being that if you have a heavy meal, like for example, if you have lunch, right, then you have a proper meal of like your carbs, your protein, your meat, right? So which means that for this last food that you're putting into your body, which is the fruit, right, it will end up settle like on top of your food. Because
Okay.
all your food has been poured out here, then when
Yeah.
the fruits pile up on the previous food, right, it's actually all going to ferment, and it's going to cause a lot of like unpleasant gases that is being produced in the body. So therefore, when it ferments, I
Oh,
don't think your body is able to absorb all the nutrients as
okay.
effectively also.
So if like let's say like after a meal and I crave for something sugary, I would think on layman it's healthier. If I want something sugar, I'd rather eat fruit than cakes right? So if I
Mm.
eat cakes, if I you know what I mean? Like, I will try to weigh, fruit will affect my sleep, but like then cake won't affect my sleep, right?
Okay lah, but if you were to say like if you want some food, right, then maybe you can take a bit of fruits lah. But like what I mentioned, just imagine it's like a tap, like that when
Mm.
it's clogged, whatever things that you put, it cannot pass through, right? So it's actually a thinking, be it good
Right.
thing or bad thing.
Okay. Okay lah. So I just need to tahan that 30 minutes to 1 hour, then I
Try to
eat the fruits
yeah,
that
try
kind.
to let your food digest a bit
Right.
first, then you take
Right.
the some fruits lah. I think better for the
Understand.
body.
Okay,
Mm.
interesting, interesting. I think also one food here you mentioned cottage cheese. I think it's not a normal food, right, for most Asians to have on a
Yeah,
regular
actually not
basis,
really.
right?
No, actually not
Yeah,
really.
yeah, yeah.
Mm.
But the only time I actually ate this was when I was doing bodybuilding because I wanted more
Yeah,
proteins, right? So,
yeah, that's why I thought like that's a reason why like in Asian's context there's actually certain food that we don't really take so much. So therefore
mm,
like as we mentioned, actually sleep can be affected by many reasons. It can be because of stress,
yes.
it can be because of your environment, can be because of your sleeping condition, and
Mm,
it can also be because of and also the food that you eat. So maybe your body is nutrient deficiency or
okay.
vitamins and mineral deficient, but
Yeah.
you're not aware because of
Mm,
you're not aware of your food intake ma. So that's also the reason why for people who might have like pretty serious sleep condition or issue, it would be good to really seek for like professionals help, like maybe really come to us or maybe to some professionals for more personalized services to really find
understand.
out what kind of nutrients that you might be lacking in.
Okay, okay. So for viewers out there, I hope you have been listening to this 5 food that Nana is mentioning that will help in your sleep. Hint, hint. Okay, we have a lucky draw question at the end of the session. Okay, we are going to change slide. Okay, so no, before we change slide, one last question I want to ask you about this food that
Yeah.
can help us in our sleep. Okay, so is there a when or what time we should eat this food that will like make it more effective? Like just before I sleep, then I eat almond, or does it matter?
Actually, honestly, for whatever food intake, like even before you sleep, best that you eat it like maybe half an hour before will be better. Cause after you
Hmm.
straight away you eat, it's still food ma. Like when you lie down, your body is not able to churn the food or digest so good also.
Interestingly, some people
Yeah.
still can so I'm quite impressed.
When I was younger, I can lah. When I was younger,
As we age a bit more,
the it will be easier to get acidic reflux honestly.
right,
Yeah.
understand. Okay, okay, okay. So I think we also get a lot of questions when it comes to sleep, right? We get a lot of very common questions other than nutrition about like how long should we sleep, what's the duration, and everything. So I think this is something that Nana would like to share with viewers out there today also, a little bit of what she
Oh
know on this. Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah, Nana, go ahead.
Maybe I'll share next one.
Sure.
Okay, so in terms of the sleep, right? Honestly, there is for every different individual, it really depends. Some people, they can just simply survive on maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep, but some people have to sleep maybe 10, 11 hours. It really purely depends on how you feel the next day, your energy level. So these are actually some questions that you might want to ask yourself to help you gauge whether you have sufficient sleep the day before, the night before. So for example, like after you wake up and you start to do your work or do anything, do you generally feel a lot more happier? Do you feel a lot more productive as you work? So that actually help you to gauge whether you have sufficient sleep. Or maybe like if you have if you have health issues, for example, if you are overweight, it might be because you are not getting enough sleep. Actually, for people,
because it affects the metabolic rate lah, right?
It definitely, and the hormonal synthesis also. So that's why, like, we always say that if you really want to lose weight, right, it's best that you get sufficient sleep.
Right.
Like at least 7, 8 hours of sleep. So that's actually quite important for some people. And also, like, do you generally depend on caffeine? Some people really have to drink a lot of coffee to keep them awake. And most of the time, it's actually because they don't really sleep well at night, or they are not getting sufficient amount of sleep the night before. So, and also driving, like if you are already feeling sleepy when you're driving in the morning, then definitely you are not sleeping sufficient as well.
I think caffeine, I think one of the reasons, obviously, you didn't mention caffeine just now because it's quite an obvious answer, right? That it will definitely affect your sleep.
Yeah, it will.
So, so that's how I actually thinking, are there people who actually can drink caffeine and not, their sleep won't be affected? I actually know some people who are like that, which is amazing.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah. So, is it like your body can purge out the caffeine quite fast and all?
Actually, I didn't really like go and find about it, but how I feel generally is because maybe my level of tryptophan is high enough.
Right. Okay. You eat all the food that help you to sleep.
Yeah. But I will drink. Sometimes I'll drink some tea before I sleep. But generally, I can still
the tea without caffeine lah, or you mean tea with caffeine?
Or caffeine, yeah, caffeinated.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so it really depends on individual. If you cannot, then definitely it's best to avoid lah, for sure.
Understand. Yeah, because I know like for example, even my fiance's like a family in Hong Kong, and drinking tea throughout the day is a very normal thing. Like from morning, afternoon, at night, like drinking tea.
When you say that, yeah, actually I do that. As in like my family background also, because like in Hokkien culture, we drink a lot of tea. So that's why like we really drink tea like all the way, morning, breakfast, lunch and tea. Maybe that's the reason why I'm actually kind of like
immune to
caffeinated drinks.
Understand. Yeah. But I think for some, like, of course, you all know who you are, like, you are more caffeine sensitive. Actually, even myself, I'm aware. I cannot even drink bubble tea around 5 p.m. onwards because it kind of affect me. Yeah, affect my sleep. Yeah, even though I'm sure the caffeine level is not that high like bubble tea, but yeah. So basically, talking about the sleep time duration, basically it really depends on individual, right? Like you say, Nana, because everyone really, maybe the lucky ones really just need 4 or 5 hours of sleep per day and they can still function very well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Understand. So like the next one, right, there's a general timeline lah, like the duration. Maybe you can take a quick look. Sure. So actually recommended for adults generally is about 7 to 9 hours. That is actually quite a standard like recommended time. So maybe if you're not sure how long we should be sleeping, maybe try to just get at least 7 hours of sleep. But try not to really oversleep. Sometimes when people during weekend, they tend to sleep 11, 12 hours. Actually, when you wake up, you won't feel focused.
Right.
You'll feel very sluggish. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Understand. Yeah, because usually weekends you want to like take back the sleep hours you have been missing, right? But end up when we wake up, it's like half a day gone and we still feel very sleepy and not energetic and all. Yeah. So I think it's good to keep a standard body clock. That's for sure.
It's actually better.
Okay, so we have one question from the floor. Okay, from Jimmy. So does grass-fed collagen help to relax muscles for better sleep? Very specific. Grass-fed collagen. Yeah, very specific. It sounds like is it are you taking a supplement or something? I think there's a reason why our viewer is asking.
Gina, the question is grass-fed collagen helps with
relax muscles. Yeah, so the question is, does grass-fed collagen help to relax muscles for better sleep?
Relax muscle. That's a very specific question.
Yeah. Grass-fed collagen,
Collagen,
wow, this is very, very specific. Yeah.
honestly, collagen, right, is actually made of protein. Collagen is a type of
Yeah.
protein.
Yeah.
So maybe when to like the amino acids, right, potentially help you be synthesized into a specific type of like neurotransmitter that can really help you to relax your muscle. Specifically grass-fed collagen, I never heard about it before.
Right. Yeah. I also never heard about it, but okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
but I think.
collagen that I drink, I thought the collagen that I drink is mostly for my skin one.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a possibility. It might help. This one maybe we'll get back to you again. All right. So okay. So we'll be summarizing this whole session soon. So if you have any more questions, okay, feel free to just type it in below. Even if our session ends, okay, we can still answer your questions after the live show. Okay, so don't worry about that. All right. So just now maybe we'll bring back to the slide of what we should avoid eating and what we should eat. Okay, just as a recap for everyone. Okay, especially for those who came in late. So maybe yeah, food you should avoid eating over here. Okay, so burgers, spicy food, dry fruits, chocolate, celery. I'm sure there's a lot more than that, right, Nana? I mean generally I think you try to categorize them into like fried food and all processed
Yeah.
food. Yeah. And what are the food we should eat, okay, before sleep to help us? Okay, so you guys are seeing this, right? Almonds, cottage cheese, kiwi, chamomile tea, milk. Yeah, so I think even milk is a very interesting thing because I would think like, is that why kids, yeah, even in the TV shows and everything, they always say, oh, have a like milk before they sleep, or you see like kids in the TV show having milk before they sleep, that kind of thing.
Actually, I'll just quick share. Like milk, right? Why it helps is actually because of the tryptophan level. But
Right.
a lot of people research actually shows that it might be because of the psychological impact that you have since young. Like you drink a cup of warm milk, which help you to sleep better, and it's actually traced back to now when you grow up, you still have that
Right.
past memory. Yeah. So
Okay.
it's
Okay.
it's a psychological impact that really
Understand.
helps you to sleep.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Okay. So I'm gonna bring us back to the main screen. Okay. So
I stop sharing, huh?
yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, guys, we are coming to our end of the session, and of course, before we end our session, I hope you have been listening and hearing what Nana have been sharing with us, because we are coming to our lucky draw question. Okay, before we ask the question of the day, all right, so just to recap, for our lucky draw prize today, we actually have a bottle of red wine and blue light lens, sponsored by two sponsors. First one is actually Savoring Wines. They actually help to rediscover the way of appreciating wines, savoring good value and quality wines for their customer. And our second sponsor is actually KJ Optometries. It's a team of all optometries specializing in primary eye care services. Okay, so these are our sponsors. Okay, and that's the lucky draw prize for today. And what is the lucky draw question, Nana?
So really to test, see whether everyone is during the sharing just now.
Yes.
So the question will be based on those that I've shared just now. List out all the food items that you know. Not say all. List out the food
as
that
many
you
as you can
should.
remember.
Yeah, as many as you can of what you should be eating for better sleep.
Yes. Okay. So I repeat her question one more time. The lucky draw question for today is based on what Nana has mentioned and shared. List out what you should eat for better sleep. Okay. So actually, she actually shared 5 of them. So if you can list out all 5, you get a chance for each correct answer. And if you have already liked our Facebook page, that's another chance. Okay, so basically, when we do the lucky spin for the lucky draw, you have like 5, 6 names over there. Okay, so type in the comments now, okay, and list out whatever that Nana has mentioned that can help you improve your sleep quality, okay, and also make sure you have liked our Facebook page. So, okay, before we end off this question, we have one more question from the floor since we have a bit of time. Okay, we have a question from Cheryl. I always drink milk in the morning. Would it lose the effect by nighttime?
Very good question. I think you can drink 2 cups of milk, like one in the morning,
day.
one before you sleep.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, Sherry, you can just not so like we shared just now. It's not a miracle pill or what. All this food that we recommend. It's a long term thing. It's the kind of hormones you want to gather into your body regularly. That's why you want to drink milk regularly, which is good that you're drinking. I would think you're drinking regularly every morning. So if you want extra effect, you can like Nana say, you drink in the morning, you drink at night lah. Okay. Okay, so as usual, if you still have any questions, okay, feel free to type in below. Even after the show, we'll definitely get back to you. Okay, if you haven't heard our lucky draw question, okay, one last reminder, list out what you should eat for better sleep. Okay, that's a short form already for the question. List out what you should eat for better sleep. Down in the comments below, we will announce the winner by tomorrow, and we will type in the comments here as well for the winners. Okay, so remember, lucky draw is our red wine and blue light lamps from our sponsors. Yay! Okay, so okay, to end off this whole session, I hope all of you guys have learned a lot. And of course, I want to thank you, our guest, Nana, our nutritionist today, for spending time and sharing so much with all of you guys. So before we end off, Nana, do you have any last words you'd like to say to the viewers?
Last words. Okay.
My last words. No, not your last words.
So I think if we are talking about like quality sleep, right? The one most important thing that I want to tell everyone is that try to have light meal before for your dinner as much as possible, because so that your body will have a lot more time that is channeled for your body to put yourself in better sleep mode also, so that you won't just be concentrating in digesting your food, since you are also not doing much at night. So just try to take a lighter meal for dinner, and that will be my biggest advice for you for the night.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Nana. And thank you all the viewers out there for your time. So I'll see you guys again next Thursday, 9 p.m. as we're going to talk about meditation for better sleep. So see you guys next week. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.